energy to get through this. Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and I know you see this bright ass, highly patterned sweatshirt that I have on. I'm here to give a standalone review, which I wanted to do more of this year. I am purposely wearing this very loud fleece because I hope it makes you feel weird and loopy, because that's how Catherine House made me feel. But not in a good way. So I finished Catherine House a few days ago and I wanted to record my review like that night, but I was like, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna read some reviews, watch some reviews, and collect my thoughts, because when I finish a book, I can be very impulsive about my feelings, and then later on, my thoughts change. My thoughts have not changed, but I did give myself that time. So Catherine House, cannot remember the author's name right now, I'm sorry, came out last year, and it's got some polarizing reviews. You either hate it or you love it, I feel like. The majority of people I saw did not like this book. So I had borrowed it from the library, it came in, and I still was uncertain, so I delayed it for like a long time. And then it came back in. So I was torn because I had just watched My Name is Mighty Ness top books of the year, and it was in her top books of 2020. And then I watched Ashley from Bookish Realm, her worst books of the year, and it was in that list. And I was like, I don't know what to do, because I mean, obviously someone else's thought on a book does not dictate whether or not I'm going to read it, but I do take into consideration, especially with something as polarizing as Catherine House. And I was like, well, I did a poll on Twitter, I tweeted about it, and people were like, you should give it a try. Myra Ness mentioned how she had read the interviews the author had beforehand, so that kind of gave her some perspective going into it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I listened to the audio, and I did read the reviews beforehand. And so I think it was her grandfather, her father, and her went to Yale, and she is a Black author. So of course there was a lot of racism that they all experienced at Yale. And so she wanted to write this story about kind of the dark underbelly, racism and classism at prestigious institutions. So I was like, okay, this sounds like it's going to be good. So Catherine House on Goodreads, I kind of read the brief review, and we have a main character, I already forgot her name. Inez. So we have main character Inez, who goes to Catherine House, which is this prestigious school that's so well endowed that the students don't have to pay tuition, they don't have to buy anything. Like, it's very hard to get in, but once you go, you don't have to bring or buy anything else. And it's very mysterious. It has this very mysterious program, and what's supposed to be the plot of the story is that Inez goes to the school and she's starting to slowly uncover this dark secret that the school is hiding. Let me tell you, one, there is no plot. There's no plot, okay? This is literally a day-to-day book following Inez and her raggedy friends during their 3 years at Catherine House. Another part about Catherine House is you go for 3 years. So this is basically a college. You go for 3 years though, because they go through the summers as well. And this is set in 1996, I believe, so before cell phones. And you can't have outside communication for those 3 years. And in the interview, the author said she placed it in 1996 because that would be more believable, because kids now would not give up their smartphones for 3 years. So that's a thing. You say goodbye to all your family and friends, and you go in here for 3 years. However, these students, the majority of them, it's not hard for them to say goodbye to the outside world because they don't really have great outside lives, whether, they didn't have parents or they were on the run, their parents were shitty, all these different things. So most of them have these weird backgrounds where they're really not that sad to say goodbye to their regular life. And they really just become obsessed with Catherine. They're also, with that, with how they're isolated and this kind of like, they give them everything they need. You really start to see it's very cult-like, and I was excited because I was like, oh, I can't wait to see how she explores this. So they do not interact with the outside world. They're there for 3 years. So, they start with their class, and unless someone leaves or whatever, they're with the same people. They don't bring anything from the outside. You can't bring pets. You really can't bring, I think they give them all their clothes or shoes or textbooks. They give them toiletries. Like, you don't bring anything in with you unless you're really good and you can sneak it in. They don't want you to talk about your past. They're like, forget that life that you were living. All that matters is now and going forward. So it is very cult-like. Like, we're changing you into this person. You are at Catherine House. You're in the house. You're part of the house. That's something that they do. Also, they have these weekly sessions where they're basically like chanting. It's very weird, especially listening to the audio, because one of the people who leads the school is like leading it, and they all like repeat it. And they're like, you are in the house. I am in the house. We are a part of the house. Like, it's so weird. And I was like, okay. And I would have appreciated it if there was just more. It was very just like skimming the surface of some really great topics, but it didn't go into depth because it really just was like I said, day to day. And the book is 300-ish pages and it covers 3 years. So there's just not a lot there to dive into. The main character, Inez, also is kind of the worst. I didn't really love any of the characters or were that interested in following them, but she is the main character. She spends so much of her time drunk and, you know, having sex with random people, which is great, but it just wasn't like, it could have been explored in a different way. Like, I would love to see that, like, sexual liberation or, you know, kind of thing in a book, but it just was like casually thrown in there where I just wanted it discussed more. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know if sexual liberation is the right word because me not good with words, but that's what she spent the majority of her time. And she didn't go to classes for a lot of it. So I'm like, it would just be her being like, I woke up, I don't know where I am. Oh, I'm in the room of this guy. I'm in the room of this girl. I'm gonna go take a bath. I'm gonna eat. There's my friend. Why wouldn't you go to class? I didn't want to. Like, it was just like an everyday. And then it'd be like a chapter and it'd be like, okay, the semester is over. And I'm like, what? We didn't do anything and nothing happened. And we're already like skipped 5 months ahead. It was so weird, but not a good weird, because it was like she would introduce something and I was like, ooh, okay, I'm hopeful, because 25% in, I was like, nothing's happened. I should DNF this. And then she would like give me a little, she would give me a crumb and I was like, ooh, okay, I'm gonna see where she goes with this. And then she wouldn't go anywhere with it. And I was like, I should DNF this. And then she would give me a crumb and it repeated. And I ended up finishing it. I don't know why, because I was like, there's got to be something at the end of this goddamn book to make it worth it. And there wasn't. You know, you've heard of a cliffhanger, right? There is no cliffhanger. This book is just looking at a cliff. It literally is one of the worst endings I have ever read in my entire life. And I'm trying to be very vague here because, well, actually the story is vague as fuck. So it's really hard to spoil anything for you except like the one little thing, because nothing happens. And so, like I said, they're in college. They have to choose a concentration to focus in, art history, whatever, chemistry. And then there's like this special one called, new materials, and they're working with this material called plasm that has had some controversy in the past, and it's very like mysterious. The kids who are in that program, it's like really hard to get into. They work really hard, so they're busy all the time. No one really talks about it. The labs they work in are locked, so it's very secretive. And so that's the only thing that I guess I won't talk about, because that would spoil the book. But there's really not a lot of book to spoil, because it's literally the day in, day out of Inez and her friends at Catherine House. And they drink, they eat, they have tea, they go to these chanting things, they go outside, it's dark, it's rainy. Ooh, look at this, wallpaper is peeling. The people who have enjoyed this book are like, it's so atmospheric. I watched one review where she was like, it was just a lot of the senses, you know, sights, smells. And I'm like, what? I need more than senses, okay? I can walk around my house and see and smell and feel. I don't need that in a book. Sure, does it add to it, but I need something else. I need at least interesting, complex characters, something. And they were so bland. They were so stale. 2-dimensional, 1-dimension. Is that thing 1 dimension? I mean, they were flat, okay? There was no plot, honey. No plot. Zero. I cannot enjoy a read on atmosphere alone, okay? If I want that, I'll put on the ASMR rooms. That's gonna give me atmosphere. I don't wanna read 350 pages of an atmosphere. No, thank you. I'm sorry. I feel like I should be saying more, but there's not more to say because nothing happens. Nothing happens, y'all. Like, occasionally someone messes up and they have to be like disciplined. So they go to the tower and then they're back to normal and they're going to class and they're like, did you pass your class? And she's like, I actually went to class. I passed my class. And let's go drink. Let's have tea. Let's have wine. And repeat and repeat and repeat. And she sleeps in this room and she sleeps in this room and she sleeps in this room and she sleeps in this room. And it's pretty outside. The building is old. Like, okay, I get it. Catherine is an old manor. It's isolated. All these kids just hang out and sleep with each other because they don't have anything else to do. They can't go anywhere. And that's it. And then there is that little reveal of that thing, that secret. And then there's the end where it's not an end. And I was like, wait, did I get like an edited version of the audiobook? Did they forget the last chapter? Is there something missing? Started going into the credits and I kept going back like 15 seconds. I'm like, no. I must have missed it because I was playing The Sims. So I was like, I must have missed it. And they would keep those last lines. And I'm like, no, that's not it. Where's the rest of it? But that was it. I mean, this book was the epitome of, yes, girl, give us nothing. Nothing. I'm so upset about it. Because when I heard about it, I heard Black author, dark academia, and I was like, oh, yes, no. You get dull academia, okay? And I don't understand, from reading the interview, I really don't understand how she was trying to incorporate like conversations about race at elite institutions, because it really was just like, these kids got into Catherine because they all had fucked up past, and then they had to work really hard or they got in trouble. And then the end happened. So I wasn't seeing that. I was really trying to understand this underlying theme. I was not picking it up. The cult-like part needed to be stronger. The characters needed to be more fleshed out. They were so dull. There needed to be a plot. I just think this book is so empty and it was so disappointing. Certain things I cannot listen to on audio because I won't process it enough. I won't understand it enough. So adult fantasy, for the most part, I cannot listen to audio unless it's like a reread. But things like this, like mystery, thriller, this isn't a mystery thriller, contemporary, I can listen to on audio, and do usually listen to it while I clean, while I walk Nigel, I play The Sims. Those are about fold laundry, the only things I can do and like actually listen to an audiobook. So playing The Sims, I was like, okay, maybe I'm missing something, because I'll usually listen to an audiobook while I build, because that takes the least amount of like brain power. Like when I'm playing, I like to be dramatic, so I need to think about how I want that to play out. But so I'm building and I'm like, wait, I must have missed something. I would go back so often. I'm like, no, I didn't miss anything. They were just doing the same old shit. So if you were thinking about reading Catherine House, you're on the fence because you're hearing all these, it's good, it's not, I would say don't read it. I just gave you the entire book except one thing. And if you want to know that one thing, ask me, I'll tell you. And then you'll have the whole book and you won't have wasted moments of your life like I did. But I did it for you, okay? So that's the end of my review for Catherine House. I don't know if that helped anyone, but it's so hard to review because nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. I gave it 2 stars, and that was a very generous 2 stars. Maybe 1 star because she did keep giving me crumbs that made me finish when I wanted to DNF it. And then the like little bit of cult-like whatever that I was like kind of intrigued by, but that's it. It really should get 1 star, but I'm gonna leave it at 2. I hated it. So anyway, did you read Catherine House? What were your feelings? I know there are some people, it was on their favorites, obviously, and on their worst. It was terrible. If this author writes another book, I don't know if I would read it because she gave me nothing. I'm upset. And I mean, it's my fault. I should have DNF'd it. But I didn't, because I was like, well, I've gotten this far. I'm going to do a review on it. Let me at least, maybe if I listen more, it'll give me something. It didn't. So, you know, do with that what you will. I said my piece. I thank you for watching this rant. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe, check my description box for information, links to my social media, ways to support my channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!